everyone, welcome to episode 6 of our build series. We're up at sunny Stagsden again today, and if you can hear the noise, it's blowing an absolute gale up here. So my first probably real opportunity of driving the truck in high winds, and that was fun to say the least. But a great opportunity, it's dry, which is good, so a good opportunity to continue where we left off last week. So again, this is the 6th episode of our build series, so if you kind of want to catch up to where we've got to at this point, then please do go back. Last week we left it off where we had begun cladding the newly insulated walls and just working our way around. So we've got kind of half of it done, and we'll continue with that. So let's just have a quick walk around and see what we're going to do today. So as we saw last week, we finished off cladding this back wall here, and now we'll move round this corner and start to work our way across the back wall, around this door, and then onto the opposite wall over here. So we need to kind of get a bit more insulation in here and up onto the roof, so we've got some of that on its way. We also, when we're kind of doing these bits, we need to consider a bit of the stuff that we need to fit out. So we've already got cables running over here, so we're going to have an exterior light which is on the outside there, so we'll need to fit that today and get that wired in before we kind of clad that over. Likewise, we're going to have 2 spotlights which will shine down onto where the counter will be here, and so we'll need to get those in as well. Over here also some USB sockets for plugging in our iPad, till system, etc. So that stuff all needs to be gone in today, which is kind of, you know, it feels like progress, so that's a good thing. Yeah, moving around, so we need to still clad this stuff, and I need to kind of get all this original stuff off here again, and because what I found on the opposite side was there was no insulation in there, so get that off, make that good, or we might go over it. I haven't really decided yet. We'll explore that a bit later. And then one thing to end the day on, I'm finding there's still a small amount of damp. So this bit of ribbing here is part of the fiberglass structure of the kind of front over cab area, and I believe that there was some damage to the outside which has been repaired, but I believe what's happening is this rib, where the damage is on the outside, is filling up with water, which is then kind of gradually seeping out. So to finish the day, what I've got is some kind of heavy duty waterproofing rubberized paint, which I'll give this a coat of. It takes a week to dry, so that'll kind of be the last thing to do today, is to just get that coat off before we can then clad over that. It's having worked so hard to get it waterproof, to kind of see, and it's only a very small amount, but to see that, you know, disappointing. I want it to be bone dry. I don't want to think there's any damp going on behind the lovely new ply that we've fitted. So yeah, so that's kind of the plan today, and we'll see how long that takes. And if we get any further, then that'll be a bonus. But if we can kind of leave today with something that looks like a kind of new, clean space, then I think that'll be a great thing. So let's get on with it.
Before it's
So we just got to the bit when we're going around the door. So we've cut the panel up ready, offered it up, and used the classic old open the door and then draw around the hole. And then we've just extended it out 12 mil to give it a bit of clearance on the inside, and we'll see how it goes. If it's as successful as the windows, I'll be happy. Let's give it a blast. Okay, quick progress update. So Tim is very kindly oil taping all the insulation. It's all back in now, which is why he's a real pro at the taping, which is why it's quite dark in here now. We've managed to do around the door, which looks great, and we're now just doing into this corner. We've installed the USB sockets and they're wired up around, ready for that to be done as well. Dan is dismantling the last remnants of Horsebox. Yeah, so good. I'm going to go and cut the piece for in this bit, and then that back wall is done. Okay, so as I mentioned this morning, this corner has always just been a little bit damp, and there's often just a little bit of water down here first thing in the morning, and after making everything good, I really don't want that. So I've taken off all the insulation and scraped it all back, undone all our good work there. You can hear the rain coming down now. And what I'm going to be doing is coating it with this leak seal waterproofs instantly. It's like roof seal stuff, and it sounds absolutely mental. It can go on to wet surfaces. It takes a week to dry. It smells pretty strong. So hopefully that will, just for peace of mind really, I don't want to compromise on this corner when we've worked so hard to get everything else looking good. So I'm just going to give this a coat of that, and hopefully we know then that it's absolutely dry, and then we can clad in both of these corners too. So the end of another long day's work on our van. That's the 6th day we've been working on it, and yeah, it feels like quite a transformation now. Firstly, before I show you around what we've been up to, I just do want to say a massive thank you to Dan and to Tim TC for their help today. I met Dan at H-Town Dubs and Classic Meets. If anyone do check that out, run by my friend Felix 3 years ago. And I met TC at the very first Boyd's Bedford Bike Meet in Bedford 2 years ago. And to me, it just shows the strength of the community, the motorcycle and automotive kind of community in their support for us getting back out on the road. And again, that's really what drives us, is that we still want to get back out there and see everyone. So let me show you around what we've been up to today. All right, so I'm going to start outside there. So we still haven't cleaned the van yet, and that is something that I would like to do soon, but it's so cold. You don't really want to clean something when it's in the cold because it freezes your hands. So I just wanted to show you up here, if you can see it, I fit an exterior LED light, which will light kind of the stage area a bit, along with some other lights we'll probably add along with that. So that's done. It wasn't something we got any footage of because, well, it wasn't very interesting to see me up a ladder and just drill in a couple of holes. Then as we come inside, this is where it's really starting to come together. So TC very kindly has got all the insulation back up and taped it all, so it's all nice. All the wires are now hidden away safely, you know, looking ready. Yeah, just nice and neat, and already you can kind of feel the dampening effect of that now when you're in here. Just in terms of how your voice echoes and all that kind of stuff, you can feel that it is now an insulated room. Kind of across the back wall now, you can see that we have clad right the way around here, got around the door, which wasn't as bad as we thought. We just offered a bit up and drew around it, and that kind of came out okay. Into the corner, so yeah, I think I might have shown you already, but we've got little USB ports to run our iPad till system stuff off, and I've also got these little LED spots which are going to point down at where the counter will be here. You can kind of see actually this daylight around the corner of the seal here, so that's something I'm looking forward to next week. We've got a seal to go around there just to kind of finally make it airtight in here, because that's kind of the last bit where we're getting some coldness coming in. So as we move around, so this was the last bit of original horse box, really, the wood and the aluminium cladding on here, and we kind of ummed and ahed about whether do we pull it off or do we just clad over the top of it, and I'm really glad that we decided to pull it off, because we found about 1 million dead flies in there. It was quite a sight. So that all came off, all cleaned up, and now insulated. It wasn't insulated as well, so another good reason. Now insulated, now taped, and ready to clad. I wanted to get that done today. I'm a bit disappointed I didn't get around to it, but yeah, something that will be a job well done next week. And then around into this corner, so as I mentioned, there was always I had concerns about how dry this bit was. There was, I think, that T kind of bracket or kind of ribbing, I suppose, to give it strength, was filling up with water and seeping out somewhere. So I just thought, actually, let's just throw this rubberized sort of paint on. And it's serious stuff. It takes a week to dry, and I've put it on liberally, so hopefully that will just put my mind at ease that we won't ever have any kind of damp. I think the site when we originally pulled this off and all the ply was kind of black, so we don't want to kind of get into that situation again. So hopefully by next week that will be dry, and again we can get that plied off and get that ready. And yeah, I think hopefully that will be the story for next week. So yeah, another good day's work, and so excited for next week, really. This next Saturday can't come around quick enough. So I suppose next week we will be doing the roof and filling in those corners once that bit's dry, re-insulating that, and then we're kind of in, you know, I guess a position that we can start building cabinets and stuff like that. So hopefully we might be able to make a start on that next week, but at the very least we will get this roof back installed, we'll get the roof light covered back installed, everything there done, and we'll be in a position that, you know, it will look like a brand new room. It feels like a room now, that insulation. You know, when you talk in here, it's dampened rather than, you know, feeling like you're stood in the back of a van. So already that transformation has been really strong. So again, thank you very much for watching our videos. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. We have about 8,500 followers on Instagram. You know, we post on there a lot. So if you're not following us on Instagram, go over there. And what we're really trying to encourage to do is to bring people over this way as well, so they can see this side of stuff. So if you have any suggestions or any requests or any comments or anything you'd like to see from these videos, please do comment. We really want to drive our following and build the Boyds community. So any suggestions you might have to help us you know, reach out more, then would be really welcome. So, but once again, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great week, and I'll catch you next week.